Hey everybody, what's happening? I'm Adam, this is Go-To Outdoors, and I'd like to personally welcome you back to another one. Today what I'm going to be going over are the accessories that I carry when I'm in the woods, when I'm hiking, when I'm doing things like that help me film my videos. The first thing, of course, you need when you're filming videos is a camera itself. Like I said before, I do use a Canon M50 Mark II, which is what I'm filming on right now. And with it, I got the kit that had two separate lenses. One is the kit lens, the 15 to 45 millimeter, and the second lens that I carry is actually the 55 to 200 millimeter telephoto. This is a really great lens. I don't do a lot of filming with it just because you have to zoom. If you need to zoom in that far, you really don't get the best quality image because I don't have a gimbal, I don't have a stabilizer, and inside of the camera itself, sometimes it's not the best for that. So unless I'm shooting off a tripod or unless I'm trying to get something that's, not moving quickly, I'm not going to use this lens. But that said, still a great thing that I keep on hand just in case I see something and I have the opportunity to take a picture or two with this while I'm out. And of course, the second camera that you have seen in my videos before has been my GoPro. Now, this is not the latest and greatest. This happens to be a GoPro Hero 5. This does everything I needed to do. It was one of the first ones that still had the touchscreen on the back. Battery life is kind of meh, but for something that's this old, I was still getting really, really good video out of it. Sound-wise, if there was any wind whatsoever, this is poop. I never did get the external microphone adapter for it. When I do get my next GoPro, I will be getting kind of a couple things that will make it better and easier for me to film on this while I'm actually, doing more things on the big camera if I need to use the big camera to film, game or, sunsets, time lapses, astrophotography, whatever it happens to be. So when I do use this, I usually have it one of two ways. The first is on just the GoPro clamp. Of course, the little fitting just snaps into the top of this, and this has a very, very strong clamp that I usually just end up throwing onto a fence post or a tree limb or something like that. Or, honestly, I hold it out. I use this as kind of a walk and talk kind of selfie stick kind of thing from time to time, just because this I can hold out at arm's length a heck of a lot longer than I can the big camera, just because it weighs a fraction of the amount. But if I'm not using the clamp mount, the other thing I'm using is typically going to be the head mount. Being a bigger gentleman, having the chest mount doesn't really work, but I can slap this on, no problem whatsoever. Take it on, take it off. It's all good to go. So, when I have more than one camera and a cell phone that I carry into the woods, of course, something that does come to mind from time to time is power requirements. What do I use to charge it? Well, I carry a couple of power banks, two of which are actually these right here. This is, well, they're both made by Anker, A-N-K-E-R. That is the brand. This one is the 20,000 milliamp hour smart charger. Don't know the exact model name, but it is the newer generation. Just has a very simple button on the front. You push that, and the four little lights at the bottom there show you by quarters how much power is left in this battery bank. The end, it only has two ports. It does have a USB 3, and then it has a USB Type-C connection. So modern cell phone, things like that, you can charge really quickly off of the USB Type-C. It is quicker to actually charge this battery bank with that port as opposed to charging it from the USB port, but it can charge up. You can charge this, and this can charge other devices from both ports. And this, the 20,000 milliamp hour, is enough for about 5 charges on my phone, which is great if I'm just using it for the phone. If I have my GoPro hooked up to it, which, like I said, GoPro batteries are the issue for me, especially when it starts getting cold. You chew through battery power. I can hook this up and run my GoPro pretty much all day long. This thing is a beast when it comes to powering external things like a camera or a GoPro. I need to find a really good way to secure this other than just having it clipped into here. because I have been going around like this, and I don't think that's the best option. I will think of something better, and when I do, I will definitely let you know. But for right now, I can charge this up, just have a cord running from here to my GoPro, and just hold it at arm's length. And surprisingly enough, this still ends up weighing less than my big camera if I'm going to be vlogging like that. But that being said, weight is the issue with my other power bank. So of course, when you're carrying all of the extra juice in these batteries, you also have to deal with the weight. So like I said, this is a 20,000 milliamp hour unit. It weighs a little over 12 ounces, 12.15 ounces, I believe. That's not too bad. It's actually, for its weight, more efficient in the amount of energy that it can carry. Now this one, it's an older generation. There are more ports to it, so if I'm trying to power a couple things, or if I want to have a laptop going, or more than one camera, I will use this. Okay, in terms of weight though, this one is the tanker. This is a 26,800 milliamp hour Anker battery bank. It is a slightly older generation. Just like the other one, there's a button up here, and of course you can see the 4 dots that show you the amount of power that remains in the battery bank. The difference is, on the very top, there are different, get into the light there, into the light, come to the light. Okay, there we go. Man, I can't do this today. There are 2 micro USBs. Those are actually for charging this device, and output is only through these 3 USB ports. So it's not quite as fast. This is an IQ charger. I don't think it's any actually faster than the other one. I think the other one actually does charge devices much quicker, but this one does have more juice. The only thing is, this one weighs over a pound. This is 17.3 ounces by itself, so for what it weighs, it is kind of less efficient on the amount of power that it holds per ounce. So it's not really that big a deal. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I still carry both of these. What I do like about carrying both of these is they each have a very nice mesh bag. So, for instance, the big one here, just slide that in there, drop everything. These have been through hell, by the way. These both accompanied me on my entire trek, so they have been knocked around. And they still work fantastic, so durability, I do like that. Inside of the pouch itself, you can pop a couple extra spare charge cables. I carried 2 micro USBs because they just charged up my headlamp, things like that. And of course I had the iPhone charging cable, the lightning cable. So the pouch is very handy, and they tend to cushion a little bit more if you do, like I just did, happen to drop it. Not too hard though. In terms of battery power for the GoPros itself, I do carry 2 spare batteries. This is of course the GoPro charger, and inside there are the 2 extra batteries. If I don't have an external power source hooked up to the GoPro, those kind of burn out in about 45 minutes a piece. Like I said, I've got a lot of cycles on these batteries. They are older. It doesn't make sense for me to buy new ones at this point, just because this is old technology. These are 5 years old. This GoPro is 5 generations, 5.5 generations old. Of course, now they have the Hero 10 Black, which is an epic little camera. I'm probably going to be upgrading to that at some point, but I'm going to hang on to this as long as I can because it's paid for, and don't waste money if you don't have to on new gear. Now, for the battery of the big camera that I'm filming on right now, I carry a couple spares. I don't have another setup that some people actually use, that they use a kind of a dummy battery that goes into the camera, and then they have to have an external battery pack that a lot of folks actually use a Sony NP7 battery because it's a much larger battery. These are very small. This is an 1150 milliamp hour battery. These are made by BM Premium, and I have 4 of these as spares. These I usually get about 45 minutes to an hour of filming a piece. In addition to those 4, I have the original Canon LPE12 battery, and this is only about 800, it says it's 875 milliamp hours on this battery. So I'm lucky, and I mean lucky, to get 30 minutes of filming out of this. Again, I use the camera primarily as for video. I do take a lot of photographs with it. Photos wise, I can probably get about 350 to 400 photographs with, you know, full resolution and raw. With one of the BM Premium battery packs, I can probably get about 250-ish on the Canon native battery. So the case it comes in, this is just a newer case that it holds 4. So I have, of course, the one in the camera itself, and then I carry 4 spares. Great to have all this. I can film pretty much all day on all of these. And if I want to, I can actually charge this while I'm out, because I have another USB charger that I, again, plug into a power bank, and I can charge 2 of these batteries at one time in that power bank. So, awesome little setup there. Now, the last thing I like to carry along is spare memory cards, because I burn through them. I have 256 gigabytes in my main camera there. I have a 256 gigabyte card in the GoPro. I don't like to delete a lot of things. I tend to record anything and everything, so by the time I come home and I do a dump, there are times within, 2 days I fill an entire one of those cards. So I carry spares. So inside here, this is a small rig SDHC card holder. So inside of here, this will completely pop off, so we'll give you a little bit of a detail. I have 3 spare micro SD cards in the adapters, just so they fit into the 3 larger slots, and there are 2 additional micro SDs that you can carry in the top here. This right here, as well as this little tool, are for carrying a spare SIM card. I don't need a spare SIM card, but it's kind of cool that this little device has that handy. Fully loaded down, with the exception of the 1 micro SD card that I currently have in my GoPro. This weighs 1.75 ounces, and it is aluminum. So the inside, of course, is plastic. Got to save a little bit of weight. It has a very nice little ball bearing detent up here that actually slots into the top of the case itself, and kind of well thought out little piece. I really like the way it's designed. Just slaps right in there, and of course, to make it quick and easy to get it back out, just push that side, pull everything out, and there you go. I want to say it was like 10 bucks. It's super handy, super cheap. Great way to keep your stuff protected, because again, I can be kind of rough on gear. Chances are my gear is going to get dropped. Now, anybody who's ever used electronics, of course, knows that electronic gear can be kind of sensitive to water and moisture. So how do I deal with that? Well, that's kind of simple. I use one of these right here. This is a Magpul DACA pouch. Kind of a thicker material. You can see it's kind of frayed on the edges because I have gotten a lot of miles on these, and they are a fabric coated in a plastic. It also does have a very nice waterproof zipper on top, and when that's all well and good, bottom of the backpack, I have not once had any issues whatsoever with keeping my electronics dry. You could probably throw a desiccant pack in here if you want to, one of those little silica gel packs. I don't, but I have had my backpack literally soaked through on several occasions, and it has remained wet for days on end, and all of my gear inside of here was still completely dry. So props to this. It's kind of inflexible by itself, kind of weighs a little bit by itself, but again, weight really, it's not the biggest issue for some folks. And when all my camera gear and everything else tends to weigh about 5 or 6 pounds anyway, I'm not going to lose any sleep over 1 or 2 extra ounces of this. So yeah, 1 battery pack, 2 battery pack, extra battery packs, GoPro batteries, and the other miscellaneous things that I need. Just throw the extra power cables and things right in here, and boom, I am good to go. So, Magpul DACA pouch, I've seen them go for about 12 bucks. It's totally worth the 12 bucks to keep everything A, organized, and B, safe. Very important to keep everything the way you want it, just so you can keep your gear working. So that's all I got today. Kind of just a quick and dirty breakdown of the battery packs and the extra stuff that I use to film my videos. I'm going to be doing a more in-depth review of the Canon M50 Mark II because it is still relatively new for me, and I'm still learning some of the ins and outs of that camera. So if you have any other questions on what I use or have any recommendations on things that you use to film in the outdoors, feel free to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, that's all I got for you today. So like I always say, thanks again for watching. Make sure you find a reason to smile today, and I'll catch you in the next one.